Hi Willows, I hope you're all doing okay and that you managed all right with your French yesterday. Today we're going to be looking at capacity. So, put simply, capacity is how much an object can hold. So, we tend to, you probably know this, we tend to measure liquid capacity in millilitres and litres, and there are 1,000 millilitres to every litre. So, if I want to measure capacity, I can use a measuring jug or a measuring cylinder, and along the side you should see a scale, a bit like this. Now, I know that this scale is going up in millilitres, and it's going up in jumps of 50 millilitres. If you look, we start with 50, then 100, then 150, 200, 250, 300, and so on. So, if I want to measure the capacity of this teacup, all I do is just fill it up with water, and then I'm going to carefully pour it into my measuring jug. Now, if we look, the water line has come just up to about 250 millilitres. So I know that the capacity of this teacup is 250 millilitres. Your first task is just going to be to do with reading scales and being able to interpret the capacity. So my advice would be just to be very careful when you're reading the scales so that you know exactly what they're going up in. They'll all be going up in millilitres, but each line might be a different amount of millilitres. The task after that, task B, that's all to do with converting between millilitres and litres. So, like I say, there's 1,000 millilitres in every litre. So, if I want to convert my millilitres into litres, I have to divide that number by 1,000. So I've drawn a place value chart to help me do this. And I want to work out what 250 millilitres is in litres. So if you look, I've got my thousands column, hundreds, tens, ones, my decimal point, then I've got a tenths column, a hundredths column, and a thousandths column. I'm going to write in 250, so 200s, 5 tens, no ones. Okay? I'm going to divide by 1,000. So if I'm dividing, my number is getting smaller. And if I'm dividing by 1,000, that means I need to move my number 3 places smaller. Okay? That's the important thing to remember when doing this. So I'm going to take my 5, I'm going to start with that, I'm going to move that into the ones column, then pass the decimal point into the tenths column, and then finally into the hundredths column here. I'm going to take my 2, and I'm going to move it into the tens column, then the ones column, and then finally pass the decimal point into the tenths column. Then I'm going to need to put my decimal point in, and a placeholder. So I know that 250 millilitres is the same as 0.25 litres. If I wanted to go the other way, I would have to times my litres by 1,000 in order to work out what they are in millilitres, because I know that for every litre there are 1,000 millilitres. So say if I had something like, say, so normally when I'd ask for one of you to give me a number. So if I had something like 0.56 litres, okay, I would need to times that by 1,000 in order to find out what they are in millilitres. Okay, so I'm going to move my 5 3 places larger. So it's going to go past the decimal point into my ones, then into my tens, then into my hundreds. I'm going to do the same with my 6 here. I'm going to move it into the tenths column, then pass the decimal point into the ones column, then into the tens column. I'm going to put in a placeholder in my ones column to show that it's not 56, but it's 560. So 0.56 litres is the same as 560 millilitres. So that's what you'll have to do for task B. For task C, it's a little bit of a challenge, all to do with estimating capacity. I hope you get on really well with that and have fun, and I hope you have a terrific weekend as well. All the best, Willows.